Good afternoon. Trying to do a stream today at a different time than usual, 12:30. Apparently, my skin didn't realize that. It's checked out. It said, "Hey, you're trying to do a stream? No thanks. We're gonna break you out for the weekend." So, uh, a lot of stress going on this weekend, but that's why I'm here. That's why I'm happy to be doing a live stream to de-stress and talk about my favorite thing in the world, which is guitar and all the cool guitar things that we have to talk about this week. A lot of different stuff that we're going to talk about. A lot of cool guitar stories. We're in the holiday. We're in the midst of the holidays right now. Been working on a bunch of courses. Lately, been using my Ariel Posen course, the one from Greg Koch, the one from Corey Wong, which I just picked up on Black Friday. So yeah, that's been really, really cool. Just been focusing on a lot of theory, a lot of like knowing notes on the fretboard, which is sometimes hard for me in the middle of the fretboard and maybe somewhat higher up. But I've been actually did a really good live stream on that a couple streams ago where we were talking about where to find notes all over the neck. So yeah, working on a lot of different courses when I get the chance. And yeah, I'm excited to be doing a stream today. Small plug before we get going. Drop prices in my store. You need to pay the bills. Drop prices in my store for merch. So if you want to get like a Chasing Sound shirt or a cup or any of these Sundays are for six strings shirts, which a couple of you have picked up already, and I appreciate that, feel free to do so. This is the lowest prices that I can possibly do on these items. And if you're looking for anything cool, anything else cool, phrases, Teespring is pretty good with that stuff. So that's what I've been doing over the last couple of months, just trying to lower prices where I can. I think they had a holiday sale the other day, so be on the lookout for that. Every once in a while, Teespring does a holiday sale. I think they were doing 15% off, but that's it for plugs. No more plugs. And before we get into stories and before we get into putting on a guitar and actually getting into chords, was just thinking, we're nearing the end of 2021, which I had mentioned in the Discord, for me has felt like a million years and has also felt kind of quick. I'm surprised we're already here at the same time. So I like to try and reflect on what went right and what went wrong, for the end of the year and kind of get a jump start on next year. But I think the best thing for that, and if you're watching this later on, let me know what you do. But the best thing for that is really doing it now. Don't wait for January 1st. Let's get into what we want to do right now. At least with our guitar goals. I'm not talking about anything like losing weight or going to the gym, all that stuff, which of course is also good. But yeah, just focusing on whatever guitar goals. Like I said, for me, it's really been a lot of breaking out of boxes. Really just Amazon boxes, because my house is becoming a fortress of boxes for Christmas. But no, really just breaking out of like stuff like pentatonic boxes and 3-note per string boxes, and then still using them, still utilizing them, but really understanding what I'm playing, what are the notes, why am I playing this stuff. Where are my target notes when I'm thinking about a chord progression? Thinking about chord progression more, not just hanging out in E minor pentatonic, G major pentatonic all the time, and really just trying to understand, as we're switching chords, what am I moving on to? Which is for me, I'm sure a lifelong journey, but that's what I'm kind of working on. And I just kind of wanted to know, if you're watching this later on, or if you're watching it live, what are you working on right now? What do you want to work on in 2022? I think it's good to set a couple goals and just try to kind of meet them in little different ways. Do you want to work on tapping? Do you want to work on building out your song repertoire and what that includes? And I think you can kind of combine a lot of those too, right? So yeah, so Simon's saying G major, the cool kids use E flat. I mean, listen, a lot of the heavy metal guys are tuning down to E flat. You don't even need to do much. You don't even need to shift your hands. You just kind of get going there. So yeah, just one other little thing before we get into this week's stories for Six String Sunday and all that stuff. Just thinking about things that I have loved for this year. One being Simon. Hello, Simon. That really is, I just love the Discord that we started. I think that was this year. It seems like, it's been going on for a while now, but really love the Discord. It was really, really one of my favorite things. I'm in there as much as I can be every day with work. But yeah, love the Discord. It's my favorite. Doing the Lick Every Day in August challenge was a lot of fun. I played more guitar than I've played in a long time. So I would probably try to do something else like that again next year, but maybe change it up a little bit. Keeping up with the newsletter, I'm really happy with that. I didn't really break any streaks. It's been going out pretty consistently with like a little break here and there, but really has been on track. And I appreciate everybody who is subscribed to that. I appreciate that. That's awesome. What else? And starting the live streams, we're still getting going. I'm not getting as many live streamers people in real time that I was like, but I'm getting a handful of views after the fact, and I think I'm just having a good time doing it. It's kind of these live streams are letting me think about lessons that I might want to bring to the YouTube channel later on. I'm thinking of really like snipping some of the lessons out, making them their own videos. And that's kind of like what I was thinking about ahead to 2022. I was thinking about, well, what do I want to do for 2022 for Chasing Sound? Because I want to go full force on it. I want to do it as much as I can as possible. So keep everything, right? So keep everything we've already been doing. Keep the Discord. Keep doing the newsletter, of course, because those are things that I just love, and I would do them no matter what. So keep those things. And then also, I like to post more to YouTube, not just doing these live streams, but also posting more lesson videos, posting more to social media like Twitter or even TikTok. I had so much fun. It's, you wouldn't believe it, but there's so many people on TikTok. It's crazy right now. It's blowing up like Twitter did back in the day. So that's a lot of fun. And then more lesson posts on the website. I want to do some interviews both here and on the site like I did in the past. I had a lot of fun doing that, met a lot of cool people that way. And then maybe, I know I've been talking about this for a while, but just offering like some sort of mini course, whether that be on something I really know well, like pentatonics, or stuff like chords. I'm not sure yet, but if you have any ideas on what you're really itching to learn, put it in the comments, and I'd like to know. I think it would give me a good idea of making something that you really, really, really want. So that's kind of where I'm at here as we lead into the end of the year. So let's take a look at some of the my favorite things of the week. So this is a video from last week from Ross Campbell. I link to him quite a bit from time to time. Really great player. He has a lot of cool looking guitars, and is always doing a lesson that I most likely would like to check out. So this one is all about blues licks to show off with. He is talking about a couple different blues riffs, and if we skip ahead here to lick number 1, not only does he play the lick, but he has a really good tab for it, and then he breaks it down. So these are very cool blues licks that I liked. I like the style of his channel. I like how he shows the tab here, and the production is something similar to something like a Paul David's production. And speaking of him, I was getting into this video too, where Paul David's, sometimes you just like to take a look at some of these videos where a guy like Paul David's has this crazy pedal board, which you see him unwrapping here. Beautiful pedal board. I think this is about, I'm not sure if this is the exact one I looked at, but over $1,000 for the board alone, not including, of course, all the pedals and all the power supplies and everything, but just fun to take a look at this and see how it kind of came together. So the cool thing about this is the guys at the pedal show kind of wired this up for him. So all Paul had to do was really place the pedals in the slot that he wanted and get it going. So I loved really checking this out. It's it's good to dream. We were talking about this in the Discord a little while ago about, pedals we like, pedals that are inexpensive, like under $100, and then guys like Paul Davids or an Ariel Posen who have these crazy pedal boards where each pedal is like $200-$300 each. Not cheap pedal boards, to say the least, right? But these are really, really cool pedals overall. So if you like this video and you like to hear some of the tones, I think it would be good also to check out the pedal show video. And actually, Simon, who's in the chat, linked me to this one where they're talking about meeting Paul, his switcher that they have here, the list of the pedals, what he's actually trying to do with it, planning the signal path. I mean, this is awesome. I love geeking out with these type of videos, going behind the scenes and just seeing what they're actually using. Building the pedal board is, if you do it right, if it's done right, it's nice to actually plan it out in this way, make sure that you have everything going so that later on you don't run into any trouble. I think it's really, really fun. Simon's saying, video idea, we need a tour of your guitars and gear. That's cool. I think I could do that in actually the new year because would like to show off what I do have and what I maybe would like to get rid of, to be honest. I think that was like one of the coolest things this year is I kind of moved from this Fractal AX8 to the Fractal FM3, which I'll be using later on. So that's been one of my favorite parts of the year so far. But yeah, that's a really good idea. I think I should do that. Check this video out. Again, nice to see. If you're in the process of building a board, go check this out because it's a really great. About 20 minutes long or so, right? Yeah, about 20 minutes or so long of them building the actual board. So that's awesome. Moving on, I also really like this super short video from Martin Miller where he showed up on JTC Guitars channel where he does a lot of different courses. The cool thing about this, I'll play it. I think I won't get, I don't think I'll get copyright striked, but let me know if you can hear this. This is a cool Martin Miller Speed Builder etude. So I'll stop that there just in case. But I love Martin Miller as a player. I think he's fantastic. I love his legato work. I love his playing in general. I love his albums. He has a new solo album coming out hopefully pretty soon. And this is one of the cool these short videos where it's not like a nice speed builder exercise that you can start working on. Don't have to necessarily go to that level, but if you're looking for more of this type of stuff, I know JTC Guitar has a lot of his courses which include this type of stuff in it. Just a great player all around. If you've ever seen some of his cover videos where he's in the studio with a number of different guests, just awesome. Go search Martin Miller, go check out his current solo album, and then again another one is on the way. And speaking about awesome players, been really getting into Tom Bukovac's Plexi Soul album, just so good. It's 12 tracks, all sorts of cool blues rock and that kind of vein. It's on Bandcamp right now for I think I paid $12 for it or so. Well worth it. Just came out at the end of October, but I haven't even realized because I had only seen Tom on YouTube. I've been watching Tom's YouTube channel for a very long time, but I didn't realize he was coming out with an album. So go check this album out. It's always nice to support people on Bandcamp. I think Bandcamp is doing, still once a month where there's a day where all the royalties go directly to the artist rather than Bandcamp taking a cut, which I believe was like the first Friday of every month called Bandcamp Fridays. So go check that out. Definitely support Tom. And if you don't know who Tom is, I've always known him on YouTube and I knew he was a session player. Then I actually went to his Wikipedia page and I'm like, what albums has he actually played on? Turns out he's played on over 700 albums. So you can see here, Stevie Nicks, Steven Tyler, Vince Gill, Faith Hill, Rascal Flatts, John Oates, Rob Thomas, Chicago. So quite a few albums. But yeah, Tom Bukovac is awesome. Go check out his new album and then go check out his YouTube channel where he's always coming up with fun things to teach. All right, so that was all from last week's Six Drink Sunday. Then I want to talk a little about one's cool guitar stories that are coming out in tomorrow's issue, which I almost have wrapped up. The first one is all about signal chain, right? So we're talking a lot about pedal boards this week. And because you can see here, the guys at 60 Cycle Hum taking a nice drink, getting into the Q&A. But yeah, number one, this is a fun podcast to listen to, whether you listen to it in your podcast player or you watched a full video on YouTube. And they just talk about signal chain. This is a good video that kind of matches up with all the Paul David stuff and the pedal show stuff. So if you're trying to get, if you're very, very new to pedal chain order and you want to understand, what should I plug in? Should I plug in distortion? Should I plug in delay first? Where does my wah go? My volume pedal, compressors, and stuff like that. This is a great video. And then there's another video after that from Vertex Effects where he talks about the best pedals you'll ever play. And I really like this video. It's an hour long. And right here, he goes into all the different criteria that he wanted for the pedal. So how cooperative is it, in the signal chain? Does it work live and in the studio? Has it withstood the test of time, the pedal? So the cool thing about this is if you go to the chapters here, he talks about overdrive pedals, distortion pedals, compressors, EQ, boost, wahs, phasers, flangers, everything, right? And the cool thing about that is, if we skip ahead to fuzz pedals here, he'll talk about something like this MXR BC108 Mini, which is $100. And then he'll talk about maybe this Chase Tone, which can get up to like $250. And he'll do that for every single pedal category. And he really, as you saw in the table of contents, really like niches down into all the different types of pedal categories. If you, again, are at the start of your board, or if you want to add to your board and you already love pedals, this is a cool video to watch. It's an hour's worth of your time. And he just, this guy builds pedal boards for a living and always is talking about, cool deals and some of the best stuff he's seen. Then we have this really awesome teaser for Yvette Young's new signature YY20. Comes in my favorite color, orange, and orange sparkle, which is really, really cool. So I just love the aesthetic of this video. It's called Ibanez Signature Ice Cream, just really wonderful. And if we skip ahead to the actual guitar itself, here's what it looks like. This, to be honest, this video sometimes doesn't even do it justice right there because it looks really, really nice. It's the YY20. It is in, here we go. Let's skip ahead. It is in this really, really cool orange sparkle. Really, similar to like one of Ibanez's earlier regular models. But the cool thing about this guitar is that not only does it sound really good, and she's been playing it in a lot of her recent YouTube videos, but it is also even tuned to a non-standard tuning. So FAC GBE. As you might know from Yvette's playing, she likes to play in a lot of non-standard tuning. So this is really cool. Go check Ibanez Guitar's channel out and check Yvette's new video out. Only got a couple other ones here. This one was hilarious. I was talking about this one in the Discord where we're talking about samurai guitarists playing your ridiculous requests. I'll be honest, I can only take so many of these videos, like a Stevie T or a Samurai Guitarist, but this one's hilarious. Sometimes I'm like, you're really pulling for content here, but this is Samurai Guitarist pulling requests from his listeners, and he's asking them to play different types of stuff. So let's see, let's skip ahead. My boyfriend breaking up with me and getting with my friend. There's one if a professional guitar player lost his middle three fingers. Smoking crack in a Walmart parking lot at 3 a.m. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Thank you, YouTube, for the ads. But yeah, no, it's really, really cool. Samurai Guitarist always does a cool job of making fun videos. The relief you feel after taking a massive poop. There was one I also posted here. Chicken picking in 7/8. I mean, it's just fun. Go check it out. Speaking of fun, Corey Wong, we was just mentioning him. I was checking out his new album. First of all, let's just talk about this. I always talk about this on the site. Premier Guitar, what are we doing here? We got the Slash ad, Guitar Center ad, Premier Guitar, free ebook. We got this ad down here. It's just too many ads, guys. Come on. There's like a million ads on here. Sometimes I don't even know where the content is. But what Premier Guitar does do right is that there's sponsoring this Wong Notes podcast with Corey Wong, and the last episode of season 2 is with Nile Rodgers, which is super cool. It was cool to hear Corey Wong, who's such a huge rhythm player right now, talk to such another giant of rhythm guitar playing, and they talk about how he writes hits, and he thinks about writing the riff first, how his rhythm part should always be part of the hook. He talks about recent songs like Daft Punk's Get Lucky. So I've been saying Corey Wong and Ayler Pilson, stylegasm. It's true, right? But no, it's such a cool, you got to check this out. It's such a cool interview. Corey always does a good job asking the right questions of these guys. And speaking of him, he finally just put up the full Paisley Park sessions where he went to Prince's studio, and it's an hour, 13 minutes long, where he goes to Paisley Park. I mean, the video is awesome. They show the outside, they show the inside of the studio, and then check this out. Such a cool video, like even in my late 30s, I still get excited about this type of stuff. Just seeing like these iconic places. He goes into the studio, Studio A, and then they just kind of get into all the songs. A lot of guys from Corey's solo stuff, a lot of guys from Wolfpack, kind of backing him up. So check it out. It's really, really good. I've listened to the full album. I haven't watched the full video yet, but I've listened to the full album, and it's fantastic as always. And then finally, before we get into some guitar chords, again with the ads, but seriously, I don't know. Maybe I need some new mattresses with this whole Pottery Barn thing here. Steve Vai is returning with a new album called Inviolate, and this is going to line up perfectly with his tour. He has a new album coming out January 28th, which I believe is the first date of his new 2022 tour. I'm really looking forward. I think I haven't really seen any concerts over the pandemic. I think this is maybe the artist that will get me out of my funk here and let me go out there and go see them. He has his traditional band, Dave Weiner, Phil Bino, all those guys coming along with him. So the band is solid. But he also released a new song called Little Pretty, which is really, really cool. Very weird Steve Vai, very identifiably Steve Vai. So it's a lot of fun. I won't play the song here to not get striked, but go check it out on Steve Vai's YouTube. Just really excited. There's some songs on there already that we've already heard, like Candle Power. There's like 2 or 3 that we've already heard, but I think the album's going to be pretty good. I know he said that he's working on a lot of different albums over the next couple of years, like an entirely 7-string album and all sorts of cool stuff. So really excited to see what he does. And that's it for 6 String Sunday. If you're watching this for whatever reason and you're not subscribed to 6 String Sunday, shame on you, first of all. But second of all, go sign up on the website, which is just chasingsound.com. Oh, geez, too close. But it's chasingsound.com. And go sign up for the newsletter. It is entirely free for now. That's one other thing. I haven't really talked about it a lot, but a lot of my favorite writers are kind of moving to Substack. Gotta see what I'm going to do in the new year, but I think I'll always offer a free tier for the 6 String Sunday newsletter. I'm never going to take that away. But I was kind of thinking of, I love doing the newsletter so much. Maybe I can do something else with the newsletter, like including more and more tiers for that. Maybe more newsletters per week, like 1 or 2, maybe one with a lesson. So still working that out, but I really like who I'm working with right now, who's ConvertKit. So we will see. We will see with that. But all right, let me go grab a guitar, and we will come back and we'll talk about power chords and bar chords. Just going to do a quick lesson because I think it was, I can't remember now, but I think it was last stream or the stream before, we were touching all on pentatonics, right? And right now during this holiday season, you got to figure that a lot of people are getting their first guitar, or they're maybe picking up a guitar again for the first time. I feel like the pentatonics are such a big win for a lot of guitar players, that they can start soloing really quickly with them. It's so simple, you got your 5 notes, a lot of very easy patterns to get under the fingers. And I feel the same about power chords. Not so much bar chords, but we're going to talk about them too. I feel the same about power chords, where they're a quick 2-finger or 3-finger thing that can get you into guitar and have you playing songs quicker than, if you maybe were to learn something like open chords, which sometimes, young kids or even older people, older guitar players have trouble with, getting their fingers under. So give me 1 sec. I'm going to go grab a guitar and we will be right back. And we're back. All right. So, as you can see, still, let me see if I can adjust this a little bit here. It's a little difficult with my current camera angle, but it's okay. We only need to worry about this 3rd fret to 5th fret position here. If you could hear my guitar, and if you are on the stream, let me know. I'm using the Fractal FM3 with the preset number 58 called the Atomica. Hi, Sawtooth in the chat. Welcome. Yeah, Vi loves a Floyd. He sure does. Awesome. Very cool. Thank you, Simon, for letting me know. So yeah, we're only going to talk a little bit about bar chords and power chords and what they are. Really more of like a back to basics lesson. Because we talked about pentatonics, I think that talking about the power chords are like a quick win for a lot of guitarists. So let's talk about power chords first, and then we'll talk about how bar chords kind of build on that, right? So simply, the power chord, you hear in a lot of rock, you hear in a lot of metal. Basically, just if we're talking about theory, and I think you should talk about theory, you just have your 1 and your 5. So you don't have the note in the middle, which is the 3rd, that determines whether the chord is minor or major. You just have your 1st and your 5th. So it makes it a little bit more vague, but it also makes it a lot easier to kind of play a song quickly, right? So if we're talking about something like a simple progression like a GCD, you'd stick your 1st finger down here on the 3rd fret of the low E string, right? And then you would stick your ring finger on the next string 2 frets up on the 5th fret, which is a D. So you got your G and your D, but you don't have that B. You don't have a B flat. So if you're trying to do a major or minor chord, we're not doing that yet. So we're just doing the 3rd fret on the low E, and then we're doing the 5th fret of the A string. So if you play them together, you have your power chord. That's it. All right. I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. But no, seriously, that's just it. And if you wanted to play a simple progression like a GCD, that's it. You made music already. And that's why I think it's such a cool thing. I know it's lame. It might seem lame to you guys who are on here who are into somebody like a Steve Vai, but everyone has to start here, right? Like every beginner has to start somewhere. And I think power chords are a great place for it. So even if you did like a really like punk rock, like a 5/5, 7/3 in terms of frets, right? Power chords are perfect for that type of thing. So that's it. That's really all a power chord is. And the cool thing about that is that they're very movable and are used traditionally on the low E string and the low A string. So what I did for that GCD progression was that I kind of just played the 3rd and 5th fret here. Then I moved up a whole string set to 3rd fret, which is C here, and then G here. Again, we're not doing the third, right? We're not doing an E here, so it's just C and G. So is that good? So that's it. They're just 2-note power chords, and you can move them all over the fretboard. Like I said, just try different things out. You don't have to know theory to know that they're very effective, right? So you can just really take those shapes and move it around, and I think that's a good thing to do, is to just really try to come up with cool chord progressions before you get into the major and minor stuff. Before you get into all that stuff, just try to start seeing what you like. That's it. I mean, I don't know there's too much more I can bring to that, other than, this will definitely be more for bar chords too, but a lot of people get this with, a lot of people have this issue with guitar, especially when they're starting out, is that they're trying to play even a power chord, and they're not getting that secondary note. They're not getting the 5th. You might hear something like this where the note sounds muted, right? Maybe you're not pushed down far enough. Maybe you're not in the middle of the 2 frets is where you should be. So that's 2 things to keep in mind. Make sure you're in the middle between the 2 metal parts, the 2 frets. Make sure you're pushing down hard enough, but not too hard. You don't have to go crazy. Just give it enough force that you hear the note ring out, and then try to give your fingers an arch. So if you're not hearing the notes ring out, give your fingers a little bit of an arch by kind of rolling your wrist towards away from you. And then what I like to do to make sure that I'm hearing all the different notes is I'll play each note individually. So I'll play the 3rd fret here, and I'll play the 5th fret, and just make sure that I'm getting it, and then play them together. Another cool thing you could do for this, if you want an even fuller chord and you want to incorporate the pinky, is that you can also play the note under the 5th fret here, which is the 5th fret on the D string, which is the octave. We talked about the octave trick, I think it was last week, where if you're looking to find, hey, what's this note here on the D string? Let's use the octave trick. Oh wait, that's G. So that's still a G, a D, and a G again, the octave. And if you play them all together, or if you don't have it, hard to hear here, but it's just one extra element. Now you have an octave of your root note, right? So that's cool. Power chords are awesome. Try the two note version. Try the 3-note version that adds the octave. Make sure you're in the middle of the frets. Make sure you're arching your fingers so you can hear all those notes. And then really mess around with all different chord progressions around the neck. See what you like. Right? Okay, but what if you want to get into something happier or more sad, right? You want to include that third in some form or fashion, whether it be the major third or the minor third, depending on if you want a major or minor chord. That's where bar chords come into play, right? So the bar chords build on the power chords that we have, but they have a bar. So the first thing to practice, and I tell a lot of students to practice, is to first take their index finger and just practice barring across all the strings at once. So it's not going to sound great, but if we play on the G, from G to G, you have your whole finger barred on all the strings. Right? So you need to get that feeling down that you can do a full bar on one all the strings on one entire fret. And then the other things that come into play are we're still using our ring finger to get the fifth. We're still using our pinky to get the we're using our ring finger at the fifth, our pinky to get the octave, but now we're using our middle finger here on the fourth fret to get what, right? Like if you don't understand what this note is here on the 4th fret on the G string, again, we'll just use our octave trick. It's a B, right? So G, B, D, that's your traditional major chord. And then that bar, since we have the bar here on the 1st fret, you have also the 3rd fret here again and the 3rd fret here again. So this is what the chord shape looks like. Your full 1st finger bar, your ring finger and pinky on the 5th, your middle finger on the 4th, and then the final 2 notes as part of that bar are the 3 frets here. 3rd fret here. So D and another G. So we have 3 G's in this chord, right? So if you play the whole chord, that is your G major bar chord. And the reason it's major is because we have this note here. Sorry, got carried away. But we have this note here, the B. So the B is the 3rd of the G major power chord. And that is the entire shape. So again, what I think you should do is, I think, rather than just, being happy playing the chord, make sure that every note is ringing out. And if you're having a problem hearing everything, make sure to do the same things that I mentioned before. Are you in the middle of the frets? Are you pushing down enough? Are your fingers arched enough that you're not muting the rest of the string? So let's try it here. Let's go. There's a really cool delay on this. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm loving it a lot. So yeah. So make sure all the notes are ringing out, and if you're hearing that, you are in business. So the cool thing about that's a G major G major bar chord. If I wanted to move up to A, I just take that whole position up 2 frets. C up to 8th fret. F. And then back to G. Now here's the cool thing. Again, all these shapes are movable, right? Which makes it really awesome. So what happens if we want to get it minor, right? So we talked about the B of the G chord being the major part of that chord. That's what makes it major. All you have to do to make a minor chord is lower the 3rd a half step. So if we have this whole shape, all we have to do is take our finger off, because now our middle finger off. Sorry, I'm not trying to flip you the bird. But if we take the middle finger off, now our bar becomes the lowest note that we're playing on that string. So we really have 3rd fret, 5th fret with ring, 5th fret with ring, and then the rest are the rest of that bar. Right? So you start with the major, take the middle finger off, and that's your minor chord, right? How awesome is that? I know, again, for you're there further along, might not be that cool, but for me, when I was 16 years old, I was like, man, this is fantastic. So what that allows you to do is, play major chords and minor chords. So I played 1 major and 2 minors. How cool is that, right? Amazing. So the cool thing about that is that if you're looking for a happier chord, you're obviously always going to pull for the major. And if you're looking for a sadder chord, you're always going to go for that flat 3rd version, which is the minor chord. So that's the cool thing about that. That is all on the 6th string. Again, it's very movable all over the 6th string. You also have shapes for the 5th string, the A string, right? So this one's a little backwards, right? Because if we're talking about 3rd fret here, we have a C major power chord. But instead of using the shape that we were using before, now this shape that we're using for a major now becomes the minor shape. So listen to this. On the A string. So that's a major shape on the 6th string. Now when we move it up to the 5th string, because of the way the guitar is tuned, now we have a minor shape. Okay, so what do we do if we want to get the major shape on the fifth fret? The fifth string and up. What I like to do is I like to make a bar chord and then another mini bar here. So this is another thing to practice. On the fifth fret, we're just making a mini bar here, and then we're gonna play the full bar here and the mini bar. And then I can always switch to the minor version. I know some people like to play this major version a little bit different, but that's just how I've always played it. Again, you don't always have to play the entire chord here. You might be missing sometimes, depending on, if you're playing live, you might be missing this note here, the G. But that's how I like to play it. So then, yeah, you can. The next thing to practice now that you know that this where it's third fret C, and then fifth fret on the D string, and then that's your major shape. And then our major shape from before becomes our minor shape, right? Then the cool thing to practice is going back and forth between the major and minor shapes on all the strings. So let's say you want to think about what's most economical to you. So if you want to do a G major chord into C minor, into D major, what we would do is this. Right, so that's G, C minor, same sort of shape, D major, back to C minor. Oh, sorry, back to G major. Right, and you can do that all over the map, depending on what type of chord you're looking into. And this is the gateway to getting into other chords like seventh chords and everything. Right, once you know what a 1, 3, 5 elements are of your major chord and your minor chord. Then you can start adding seventh, flat sevenths, and other notes above that, ninths, 11th, all sorts of numbers that you'd like to get into after the fact. But yeah, this is the best thing about, I think, start with the power chords, right? Go easier on yourself and try to take a couple easy songs. I mean, of course, songs like Green Day and any like pop punk stuff will definitely work with all the power chords. Right? Just your two notes, your index finger and your ring, first and fifth, and then move on to the bar chords. Again, they're going to be a harder shape, but once you get that shape under your fingers, you're going to thank yourself for it, because then you can play happier and sadder sounding chords. And again, that's the gateway drug to other chords. Work on your major shape, minor, major, minor. And you're ready to go. So what I think is important with that is put this stuff into action right away. Get it under your fingers and try to make sure that you're playing it technically right. You're not muting strings with all the tips I gave you before. But then after that, put it into a musical context. So write your own songs really quick. Try a 3-chord song. Try a 4-chord song. See what works. Like what works with the major. What works with minor. What works with just power chords, right? And then go to some of your favorite bands and try to play along. Try to get the first note, using the low E string and seeing what might be the key of the song, and then start figuring out the chords that way, which will improve your ear. So there's so many things that you can do with minor and major power chords. Practice them on the 6th string, practice them on the 5th string, and then I think for another lesson we might go into doing some of the cowboy chords, because it's always nice to have those too. But I feel like the power chords and the bar chords are sometimes even more flexible with what you can do with them right away. So been rambling on here for about 47, 48 minutes now. I think that's it for me for this week, guys. And I'm going to be back in 2 weeks. Keep an eye out for the newsletter tomorrow. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know in the comments section. Anyone who joined live, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this lesson, what you'd want me to do other mini lessons on in the future, and what you're learning what you're looking forward to learn in 2022. And that's it for now. So take care, guys. Appreciate you coming.